Ellery? Yes, it's nice to meet you.
Hi, my name's Renata. It's nice to meet you. We have this translator for you. Oh, just so it's easier for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So I have this project in GOV, and I was wondering if I could ask you a couple questions.
Ask away.
Perfect. So I know you were kind of credited with bringing democracy into Russia. Do you in any way regret that decision?
Putin's followers often see democratization as a Western practice, and in turn often do not agree with it, but I feel that the country of Russia would have benefited from a true democratic government. I would have said more, but I didn't want to end up dead, you know?
So my next question for you is about the 1917 Russian Revolution. We went over it in class, but I was still a little bit unsure about what it was.
All I have to say is that if you think Russia's better under a command form of government, you're out of your mind. Russia's economy should be more decentralized. So yes, there should have been a revolution, but it should be different from what we have now.
And I can understand that it would be difficult to voice those kinds of opinions given the government, right?
Yes.
Next question for you is about Russia's foreign policy and kind of what goes along with that. Can you even call it that given what their country does to other countries?
So it is my opinion, not Putin's, mine, that we should try and create more partnerships with other countries. Obviously some people,
Putin,
the best relationships with other countries and their leaders,
Hillary.
But like I said, it would be more beneficial for everyone to create alliances. Without these alliances, the people it ends up hurting the most are the citizens of the respective countries.
So yeah, we learned all about that in our GOV classes, and I'm going to take it that based off of what you just said that you're against glass-based.
Yeah. It's not like I, invented it or anything. Like I just said in my previous answer, I believe that Russia should be open with our Western neighbors and facilitate positive relationships with them.
Isn't he like the pizza guy or something? So I take it that you're against Stalin's 5-year plans, of course, right?
Are you kidding? The idea is a joke. I understand his need to increase industry in the Soviet Union and collectivize agriculture, but these 5-year plans centralize the economy when we should be decentralizing it. Industry will only grow when the people are in control of the economy and have the ability to compete among each other. Only through the competition that comes from a market economy will industry grow.
It's no secret that Putin was a former member of the KGB. How do you feel about that?
The KGB is not a group that you want to be affiliated with. They are responsible for taking away a lot of freedoms of the people of Russia. The KGB is responsible for stopping any opinions going against the government. However, I believe that it is important for the people of the Soviet Union and Putin's Russia to have the ability to speak out against the government if they believe it isn't working for them and it's corrupt. In the past, I have been a part of the Soviet Union, but what the KGB stands for is completely different from what I believe.
And I'm sure that wasn't a very popular opinion in the political world.
That it was not.
This is kind of like the main hall, and a lot of students like to just kind of hang out here before classes. But so my next question was, what's your opinion on political culture?
Can you even call it that? They say that they're a democracy, but there really is only one option to vote for: Putin and his followers. This is not because there's not an alternative. The alternative is just not seen.
But you do agree with political parties, right?
Yes, political parties give people options to what they can vote for, and if Russia truly had a democratic government, people would have more of a say to what happens in their lives as opposed to the they have now. Given that I created the Union of Social Democrats Party in 2008, you'd think it'd be obvious that I'm for political parties. However, I am against United Russia and its complete control over the Russian government. Political parties should be about challenging differing opinions and doing what's best for the people, and United Russia's only concern is about controlling the Russian democracy to benefit themselves.
Oh, we have learned all about United Russia in our class, and I know we have our own opinions, but do you think Putin's presidency is good? Like, is it doing a good job?
Not necessarily. Russia has many social problems going on right now. For example, poverty. They could be solved with a more representative economy and government, but that's not what Russia is like.
So then you probably don't agree with Russia's economy.
No. We should have had a good economy if we had restructured the economy from a command system to a market system in a more gradual way.
Isn't that called perestroika? So these are some of the vending machines that we have here, but continue what you were saying.
Instead, what took place was something that had often been called shock therapy. It was not a good way to change the economy and resulted in too much change too fast. Many of the people in Russia were not given enough time to prepare for the shift, and as a result, it left many of them in poverty.
That's very sad. Has the Putin regime done anything to fix this?
No. One of the main challenges today is Putin's regime and the powerful oligarchs that stand behind him. They have silenced public opinion, which in turn leaves people either unhappy or brainwashed into thinking everything is fine.
That's not good. This is a hallway, and here we have lockers where kids can put their stuff in. But so my next question, like I've said before, is do you think having a president, in general, is the problem?
I definitely don't think that's it. I think it's more having a president like Putin who has restructured the government to be whatever he wants. Not only has he silenced people's opinions, but he's also has the power to dissolve Duma, call for new elections, and veto acts passed by the legislature. It's a joke.
So to bring it on another note, this is our prom poster, and we have kind of like a prom here every year. But so back to what we were saying about the economy, I definitely could see how Russia would have been more of a power player in the global economy if the whole transition to the market system would have worked out. And I think that just goes back to the idea of glasnost, right?
Exactly.
So what would your idea of an ideal Russia be?
I think we need a democracy and a more open economy to the West. No authoritarian regimes. The bureaucracy needs to work for the people, not just the people in power. It would also be better to get rid of this whole idea of nomenclature. For example, in order for the Soviet bureaucracy to be efficient and help the government function, it can't just work for itself. The bureaucrats need to keep control over the nation's economy. I, on the other hand, wanted them to give it up and have people who wanted to help the economy open it up to the West.
So how do you feel about the military?
I wouldn't say I'm against the military so long as it's not solely controlled by one person and should rarely be used against the people in efforts to control or silence them. Every country should be able to defend themselves, but if they have to defend themselves from their own people, that becomes a problem with the government itself, not those specific people. Does that make any sense?
No, I completely see that because we learn different countries in our GOV class that we have, and it can definitely seem like if the people aren't with the government, there can be some problems in that. So I'm curious, how can someone who used to be part of, don't get me wrong, the Soviet Union have such democratic views?
I simply started to see that in order for people to function, they had to be able to have a say in what the government does.
I mean, I think I agree. I mean, that's how we have it here, and a lot of people take it for granted sometimes. But so to continue on with the tour, here we have the school buses, and usually kids will either go in through this doorway or that way when they're coming in from school or from home. Yeah. So in your opinion then, as a former member of the Soviet Union, what were some of the reasons why it ended?
Well, I think there were many reasons: political, economic, social. Like, for example, glasnost and perestroika were not responsible for the downfall, and it was more the people's and communist government's attitudes that ended the nation. Like, I have advocated this whole time. In order for a government to function, it should give the people an opportunity to say what they think, with the Soviet Union not really believing that it just created more tensions between people and the government.
So, what do you think about the overall global status of Russia?
It's pathetic. Russia deserves to be a global superpower, and under Putin, it never will be. The only way Russia's economy can grow and it can be involved in Western politics is to incorporate Western ideals of democratic government and a market economy. Democracies, and I mean real democracies, not whatever Putin is doing, West for a reason. They work, and Western nations, such as the United States, will take us seriously and incorporate Russia into global politics if we show that we are willing to give the Russian people a real voice.
So here you will see that we have a Be the Voice campaign, and we have the round table of the Home of the Knights, which is kind of where we put our male and female athlete. But so, in your opinion, this, I promise this is one of the last questions, I just want to get an A on this project. But so, how do you feel that Putin has impacted the liberal democracy that is going on today?
Russian democracy is illiberal because the people stand behind it, but they have no real voice. Putin time and time again has taken away the voices of the Russian people. He has changed campaign laws so that no one can win against him and manipulated the Russian people into believing that he's the only person who can lead them. The world sees this. They know Russia is a joke. They need to show that the people have a voice so that they will know we are a liberal democracy that speaks for the people.
This is my last question, I promise, and then I can walk you out. But how do you feel about democratic centralism?
It's a communist ideal. What we need is uncontrolled discussion in our government and society. Russians should be able to speak out, and the idea that our government is saying, sure, talk amongst your party, but as soon as the vote has been taken, just shut up, is insane and quiets the voices of the people.
I can't believe that actually happens. That's crazy.
I know.
Okay, well, I can walk you out this way.
Is there any chance we could keep
Wait.
going? Hi, it's Gary Goldstein. Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Hi, Gary Gorbachev. Nice to meet you.
How you doing? You're Behind Red. Nice to meet you.
Chef, somewhere I have to be.
I know.
Oh, okay.
There's just stuff going on.
Okay. Hi, Gary Gorbachev. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm almost done.
Okay.
So what do you think about? Yeah, I'll ask you in a second.
Hi, Gary Gorbachev. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Wait, hold. Let me take this call.
Gary Gorbachev. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
No, I cannot believe that happened. She said that to her? No way. He went out with her?
Hi, it's Gary Gorbachev. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Okay, I think I gotta go. There's some weird guy and he's being kind of weird. I'll go. Okay, sorry about that.
No problem.
Let's keep on going with the tour.
Okay. Hi, it's Gary Gorbachev. Nice to meet you.